Welcome to Self-Centered Living, a podcast that serves as a vital platform for women of color to take charge of our narratives and where our voices are amplified. I'm your host, Trish, and here we delve into our diverse experiences and rich humanity through a blend of personal stories and insightful discussions with a range of guests. Our aim is to foster meaningful connections and understanding among our listeners. Let's face it, the chapter on alignment in our journey can be a beast, nudging us both subtly and not so subtly to let go of ideas about ourselves that move us farther away from our greatness. This theme is bound to resurface time and again in our stories. In this episode, listen to how Brittany Burgess wrote the perfect ending to this chapter in her life, one that has opened her up to a creative world where she continues to win and share her unique gifts. See how Brittany's story resonates with your own, and take notice of her relationship with her story. Consider, what are the signs or clues that indicate to you that you're moving in alignment with who you truly are? Today, I get to chat with Brittany Burgess, documentary filmmaker and cinematographer. We'll get into her work. Actually, let's get into some of your work, your most recent work now. You worked on Your Rise, Juju Watkins. You were the DP on that project. For those unfamiliar with the term DP, which I recently learned, you were the director of photography. You handle camera ops. Tell us a little bit about that project.
Okay. Yeah, that project is started in I believe 2022. I mean, originally it was for a digital series. A friend of mine who was the director at the time brought me on. But originally it was just a digital series, just supposed to be on YouTube. Um, One camera team. I was one camera, one director, one sound person. Was just following Juju throughout her senior year, her process of uh visiting these big schools like South Carolina and for SC. Um, then just following her rise to like the stardom. Now it's 2025 and she's the best female basketball player in the world. So that was it's been a journey, especially to see it go from just being a digital series to now being on Peacock was a crazy transformation because I was just going there having fun filming. It was my first time doing a documentary like that, so made a lot of mistakes, learned them for sure, but I mean it definitely made me a better documentary filmmaker, especially a run and gun one. So that's a little bit about how that started and whatnot.
Which is a good segue into Life After, your
Yeah.
series. Because when you were just like, oh, made some mistakes, learning how to do that type of docuseries, what was Life After? I thought that was a docuseries, or would it not be classified as a docuseries?
Life After I did in 2020, and I mean you could kind of series. It was my first time doing anything in that realm of just sitting down with former athletes and letting them tell them stories. The biggest thing about that one was I wanted to put the athletes back in their environments that either traumatized them or the environments where they got away from the things that traumatized them. So the first episode, a young lady, she was traumatized, by her collegiate basketball career. So we did the interview at a gym and then played basketball after, so it's a healing thing. Then the other two was a guy, track star, he loves yoga. So while we were talking, him telling a story, we're doing yoga. Then I had a cross player and she's this amazing artist, and we sat there and we drew while she told her story. And then at the end, she drew this beautiful portrait of Breonna Taylor because that's during the time where all the riots and stuff were going on. And yeah, I didn't even want to show my drawing.
First of all, what she did was amazing in that short period of time.
Man, and she's so talented, so talented. Yeah, Kia Reinhardt, yeah.
Yes. Going back to the first episode, the title was Suicide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I realized about you is that, one, the setting I think was perfect, which you selected, but your ability to put anybody you were interacting with at ease so that me as a person watching it, I could settle in and get into the story. And you do it in a very humble, subtle, gentle way. If anybody's interacting with you, I think one of the first things they'll say is, oh, she's so humble. So
Thank you.
is that what you're going for?
It's not what I'm going for. I just think that's who I am. I remember my grandma used to take me to Toys R Us when I was young, and she tell me just get whatever I want, and I would come back with the smallest thing, because I was just I don't know. It's always been like that. And then my family, like, get whatever you want. But I don't know. For some reason, I don't need too much, So I think that's just my personality, honestly.
Well, let's get into, and we'll come back to your projects, but
Mhm.
let's get into what you were doing before that. For the person that meets you today, they
Yeah.
know you as cinematographer.
Yeah.
However, the track was entirely different. You were playing basketball and you were a collegiate basketball player. You even played pro
Mm.
overseas. And in the beginning, tell me your thought was WNBA all the way. This is what I'm going for.
Yeah.
The question would be, well, how did we get here? Here is fabulous.
Yeah. Here's that.
I know you as cinematographer. But the first time I heard you was listening to Snap Judgment, the episode I Got Ball featuring Fatima A., owner of the Women's Premier Basketball Association.
Yeah.
And that was focusing on her story, but you were the narrator. I was like, who's that? And then I was investigating. So as I said, I know you as cinematographer. I've looked at all your work, but there was a life before that.
For sure.
So let's go to the setup for that. You're very disciplined. If I have a meeting with you, you're going to be 5 minutes early. I know you're going to be on time. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I would say that definitely came from my mother. Since grade school all the way into high school, we would have to wake up 4:45, 5 a.m. every morning. I went to private school all my life as well, so they had before care and after care. So I would be the first one in before care at like 6 a.m., 6:10 a.m. or whatnot, or 6:30 a.m. for before care. And then when I got to high school, first on the bus at 6:10 a.m. because that's when the bus came. And then usually I'm the last. My mom had to work in DC. She works for the government. So yeah, I'll be there, the last person in there. And then even on the bus, I'm the last stop since I was the first stop. So it's just something that was kind of ingrained without being told, She never complained, so I never complained. And it's habits for me to just be the first to everything, and to just be on time and a little early. So I would say my mother. That's how I got that discipline.
The discipline helped you because you started playing basketball when?
Yeah, I started playing basketball, I think organized basketball around 11. And then going into AAU, yeah, we didn't really know what we were doing. Just my mother coworker just put her on to AAU team, and my AAU team was all the way out in Virginia. So that was also a reason why we had to be a little just going from Maryland to Virginia, especially when I got to high school. Like high school, we had high school practice ends. Then my mother picks me up, drives all the way to Virginia. Now we not getting home till like 11 o'clock at night, and then got to turn around and wake back up at 4:45, 5 a.m. every day. And like I said, she never complains. To me, it was just normal. And then, yeah, it was. I look at it now, and now I try to wake up in the morning, and it hurts, But majority of my life, I was doing that. I mean, it always hurts. Now it just hurts a little differently. Now, like, it's hard for me to like wake up at that time sometimes. Yeah, yeah. That's
How did that translate on the court?
on the court. The discipline.
Yeah, because you were highly recruited. So
Yeah, it's crazy because that was a time where it's not like it is now, where you have all these trainers and everything to make you better. Then there was a lot of just playing outside, watching the game. That's what I did. I did a lot of watching. Clyde Drexler, John Wall, Michael, LeBron, Candace Parker. Yeah, just a lot of watching I did, and implementing what I was doing outside, and taking what I was watching, going outside and trying to implement it. I still, I don't know. To me, I still didn't ever become the best I could have been, because once there was too much attention on me, I was just like, yeah, I don't want this, and that it's being a little too humble, I think. But yeah, luckily by the grace of God, I had natural talent to be able to be recruited like that. But I don't even think my confidence was always there. It was just having fun. Before college, it was having fun, and I had confidence. But yeah, but still, I still never let myself become the best me. I don't think. I think I definitely didn't become that dog I could have been.
So let's go to that because you were highly recruited. You started out.
Started out Delaware. Yeah, the University of Delaware. I went to the University of Delaware. And situations happened, and I had to transfer during the summer to VCU. So I didn't even play at Delaware. I was just there for the summer. Then I went to VCU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How was VCU?
Uh,
Because this is college now.
yeah.
So
Now it's college. I mean, VCU was different because it was already 6 other freshmen coming in. And I kind of, due to situations at Delaware, I didn't take my time to even look at other schools. I just felt like I had to be desperate, and I just picked the first school that hit me up. But if I would have thought about it, I've been like, oh, VCU, there's going to be other schools hitting me up since VCU just hit me up, I just went for it. And at first my confidence was there. Like I was good during the summer. Like it was fall now, but I felt confident. But once them plays came in play, like college ball is just different. Like now you got plays you gotta abide by. And then you don't get to play right, your coach, if they're not that patient, they sitting you down. Now automatically my confidence is down because I couldn't perform the way they wanted me to. I'm used to creating. They used to just playbook. It looked like the Bible almost. So my confidence automatically went down to the point I couldn't even catch a ball. And I'm a super athletic person, so be able to catch a ball was a little weird, and I didn't know what it was going on.
So that started right out the bat in Delaware, or was that VCU where you started to feel like,
They see,
okay,
they see.
okay. But how was the environment there? Were other players struggling in that way, or?
Oh yeah, a few other players were struggling in that way, but the thing about VCU, my teammates, they're like my sisters. So even though we might be struggling on the court, struggling mentally, and we didn't know we were, we had each other. So like we had each other to get away. But yeah, like college basketball was a little different than especially in the women's realm. Everything was very much controlled. You couldn't really just play basketball. It's always some mental toughness test they would do, which I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Like, this is not what we came here for.
Like what? What kind of
Oh,
test?
like, us going in the river at 5 a.m., doing Navy SEAL training, flipping a boat over, then swimming underneath the boat and start singing underneath the boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, very much so unnecessary stuff. I was one of the smallest people on the team, like, weight-wise. And so was my point guard. So we would have to carry the heaviest person on the team. It's stuff like that I look at. I'm working with SC now. They're not doing any of these unnecessary practices.
It
And
sounds like hazing.
you know what? As you say that, it is. It is. It's very much so hazing because being in the river with snakes, like rolling around in sand, you have to get your whole body covered in sand. That was the test. Get as dirty as you can. Like, what? That don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. But it was stuff like that we had to do to prove that, like, we wanted this or we were mentally tough.
How was your relationship with your coach?
Terrible. I remember, like, you see my schedule of how I was raised, being
Yeah.
before time with things. I had a coach who every morning she used to watch me go to practice or go to class. I would wake up 2 hours before class, go to class, to go get breakfast, sit down, chill. Now I have another hour to just walk slow to my class in the front. So my morning, I'm taking my time. You know, I'm giving myself an ample amount of time. She brought me to her office one day and was like, "I watch you every morning. Why are you up that early to go to class?" I told her my routine. She's like, "Yeah, you need to stop that. I need you to be rushing everywhere you go. And this is how I'm going to get on the floor." She said, "Everything you do now is slow. You talk slow, you walk slow, like you just slow. We just need you to," even with me, trying to get the plays, that's why she called me slow, because I couldn't get the plays down. So from there, she's telling me I need to be rushing everywhere. So now it's no more waking up 2 hours before class. Now you got 45 minutes. You need to be rushing everywhere. And that just messed me up because that's not something I was used to. And I did it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like 18 and I just want to play. I'm not playing right now. So I'm gonna do anything I can to get on the floor. So if you need me to be rushing everywhere, I'm gonna do it. But I'm also looking up to this person that what they're saying is gonna make me better. But that wasn't the case.
The guidance that she was giving you, and I call guidance loosely, and I'm not a coach, so I'm not an expert at this. I'm just a parent of a child. Totally discombobulates your system.
Yeah. Yeah.
totally throws you out, in
Yeah.
addition to the other stuff that was being done. And you're also in a new atmosphere because now you're away from home and you're
Mhm.
away from those routines.
Yeah.
How are you adapting to college life? Because it feels like it's entirely different from even how it was for you in high school.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was easier. College life was easier. The only hard thing, basketball. Basketball is what made it hard. Like, I had no problem
Hmm.
with time management class, none of that, because I'm up 4:45. I don't end my day till 11:30 during grade school. So college, that part was easy. It was just the basketball part which made life a little hard.
Did you form any other support?
Yeah, my teammates, those are my sisters to today. They're kids, they calling me auntie. When I have kids, it's gonna be the same thing. We talk every week, literally. So my teammates were my support, and I was theirs. We had each other. That's what made BCU a great time for me outside of basketball.
And I imagine at home, mom probably kept you close, but now you go off to college, there's freedom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. So as a child, I was definitely sheltered in a way. Like I said, I went to private school in my life. My mom, single mother. It's just me and her. I have an older sister, but she like 10 years older, so she's out the house. So my mom definitely sheltered me, and I didn't really have time to like do other things during grade school because basketball and travel. So yeah, when I got to college, because basketball wasn't giving me like joy, I definitely found it in other things such as, relationships, females, and that's like then and it made me feel good. And it wasn't the best. Now I'm like 29, I'm looking back at my 18-year-old self and I'm like, ah, dear God, what are you doing? And yes, that type of freedom, it was me covering up the hurt, by me being surrounded by a lot of people and relationships, and not being the nicest person to people within my relationships.
When you say not the nicest, what do you mean?
We talked, and females were a distraction for me, so I would just it was just a lot, and I don't think I was being my true self. It's very much so like a toxic person of having multiple people, and yeah, my personal life didn't align with who I truly was. And I feel like that also took me away from basketball a little bit. Even though I'm the first person in gym, last person, always watching, always doing these things, I don't think I was truly dedicated because of how I was running my personal life. And then being this, to me, being a toxic person, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 definitely a toxic person.
So how did things go at VCU as far as playing basketball? You're rushing now, so is she giving you the time on the court?
Nah, I'm not, still not getting the time on the court. But then that coaching staff leaves, another coaching staff comes in, and this time is a little different because I'm performing well, but this coach just she wants to get rid of all the older players to bring in her new players. So she's doing whatever she can to get rid of us. So it doesn't matter how good we play, how good we are. And these are words out her mouth that,
Yeah.
I would never play for her. It doesn't matter how good I am or how better I am than my teammates. So VCU basketball, like, didn't really exist. To me, it was just about that wasn't giving me joy, so I found joy in
And the
female.
ladies.
Yeah,
And the
that's what I
ladies.
found. That's what I found joy in. And then of course my teammates, but yeah, I definitely didn't keep the main thing, just because at a point there was nothing I can do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
from VCU, where did you go on to?
After VCU, I transferred to UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Now I'm back in Maryland. Got my family. At the time, I had a girlfriend. She transferred to Morgan. So we're right up the street. So I'm like, all right, bet. Like, we're good. Unfortunately, I had a huge injury that caused me to have to get surgery. From there, I never recovered during my whole career. I never recovered from this injury and this surgery. Once again, basketball, I'm playing now, but I'm not to my best ability. The team's not great. Once again, the thing I'm finding joy in is still females, you know? Then there was one day I had a teammate from UMBC. Her name is Sticks. She comes into the locker room. I see this portrait she made of herself. I'm like, yo, what's this? What class is this? And she was like, yeah, I'm a media communications major and we do all this art stuff. And I was like, okay. At this time during VCU, I was a business major, a criminal justice major with a minor in Africana studies. When I got to UMBC, I'm a history major with a minor in Africana studies. Then I switched to education. I was just all over the place. Like I didn't know what I wanted. I did, but then I was like, nah, I don't like this. And then my teammate, like I said, has this portrait of herself. And that's when I switched my major to media communications. And I'm doing all this art stuff.
Yeah.
And um and I also then after I'm doing this art stuff and I'm in Premiere, I'm doing photography classes, I actually applied for the art school at UMBC and that became my minor was art. For the first time throughout my college career, I was excelling and winning at something because I wasn't winning at basketball, I wasn't winning within relationships. Now I'm actually winning awards for some of my artworks within college, you know. That's when art became actually something for me. It was at UMBC. Yeah, shout out to my teammate Sticks. Yeah, I don't even think she knows that story.
For the art school, did you have to do a portfolio
Yeah,
or?
I had to make a whole portfolio and all that. And I did it and I got in. I was like, all right, cool. Because I'm like, I don't know what to do. Sometimes things are just meant to be, you know?
Yeah, they were lining up.
It aligned, truly, truly.
So now you have the art coming in. Were you doing art when you were younger?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I would do it. My grandfather is an artist as well and a musician. So is my dad.
Oh my God, Brittany, so it's in the blood.
But they never took it that seriously. My dad can just hear a beat and pick up
Yeah.
any type of instrument and just make the song. And my granddaddy can just see things and just draw. He used to be in a singing group back in the day, but that wasn't the route they took, you know? That was just something they did on the side. But
But nonetheless,
oh, yeah.
you seem like you were influenced by it or you were taking something in.
It was once again, I was just doing stuff. At my grandparents' house, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents and my grandmother would just draw. Like, it was nothing I took seriously. My mother, I guess when I was in grade school, you know, you had art class and I would win awards for it, but I wasn't seeing nothing, but she saw something. So from when I was in grade school, she wanted me to go to college for art. I would tell her like, no, I'm gonna be a business person. I'm a major in business and go to the WNBA, go to the WNBA, have all these businesses. That was what I was going for. So when I got to the art school, she just looked at me and shook her head. So it was so like a full circle moment, you know?
Yeah.
And so mothers know. They know. They know they're
Mothers know, you know what, but I appreciate her standing back. And okay,
yeah,
Brittany, let me let Brittany come to it on her own.
yeah.
We know if we tell you, you're gonna go in the reverse direction.
Facts. Facts. So yeah, that's how we got to art.
You discover art, not really discover, you kind of return or enliven that part of you that was sitting dormant from what I'm hearing. Do you decide then? Forget about basketball. It's all about art now.
No, I still was, to me, it was still, you know, I'm doing these documentary film classes, doing a lot of photography, but I'm still in my mind, the main thing is basketball. So after graduating, I go overseas and play it's a lower division team in Spain. I go over there, I'm there for like 3-4 months. I'm like, this isn't it, you know, this isn't it. I thought when I got over there to Spain and I'm just playing basketball, I'm gonna be living life, I'm gonna be happy, but deep down, something was telling me it's time to go home. I left Spain and I came home, but I still didn't know what I was doing when I was coming home. In January, I got my first job, my first corporate job as a marketing director for this real estate company. I was there for like 2 months. I'm in traffic every day, every night. I'm spending most of my time at work and in traffic. I get home, it's late. Like I'm like, yo, I'm in the office a lot. I'm just like, yeah, this isn't it. But it's a corporate job. My family's like, yo, good job, you know, like you could build from here. And after 3 months, I quit. They looked at me, especially my mother. She was like, okay, what's next? I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. I had that job in January, but back in late December, I told my mother I wanted to move to California, and she was
Okay.
telling me, "All right, just find a way so you could survive." So this is still in my mind, how to get to California, and what am I doing in California? I don't know. Like, I just want to find a way how to get there.
Why California?
Since I was younger, Fresh Prince was a big influence on me.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so it was always in my head, I'm a live in California because of like Will Smith and Fresh Prince. So this has been a thing for me since I was younger. I quit that corporate job, and then I started this other job where I'm doing catering for government events, and I'm looking like, yo, this is not it. Then people are telling me they've been working there for 5 years. I'm like, yeah, nah. Throughout these jobs, I'm applying for grad assistant programs,
Okay.
which will allow me to get my schooling paid for, but I had to do something within the collegiate sports programs at whatever school, and I'm applying for
So
every.
by then,
Yeah,
just to backtrack, you already have your bachelor's of arts.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
And you
gra-
end up with a bachelor of arts in what?
Media communications and print media.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, because I know that's not what you started with, but that's what you ended with.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I ended with. That's what I ended with.
Now you're looking for anything that can get you back in while they pay for your education.
Yeah, these grad assistant programs, you're within the sports arena. You could be marketing. It's other things you could apply for. So I'm applying for, basketball positions as a grad assistant or something within marketing. I'm applying for every school outside of Maryland. I'm applying for stuff in Michigan, California, Arizona, everywhere. But I try basketball one more time, and I go to this tournament in France. I'm over in that tournament, and I'm like, this still isn't it. But I received an email for an interview for this school in Oakland, California, helping with like their marketing. The call goes great. Then I go back home and I go back to my job doing the catering. And I get another call from the same school, from the head coach of the same school in Oakland. And he would say, I would love to have you just because of my resume, because it's a NCAA Division II school. So
Okay.
just by my resume, D1 professional, I'm good. Later that day, I got 2 offers for either the marketing job or the basketball job. I told myself I'm done with basketball. I'm over it. But something deep down was telling me if I was at that school every day setting up for the basketball games and watching these players practice and watching people coach, that I wouldn't feel right. So I accepted the job for the assistant coach at this Division II school. That's how I got to California.
Through basketball, which you were trying to leave.
What I was trying to get rid of. Yeah,
So you get to California, you're working as an assistant coach in basketball. What
yeah.
happens from there?
I'm getting my MBA, so full circle. Still
You're honoring what you set out to do.
2019, and I'm coaching. It's cool, but I'm still in the back of my mind. I'm like, yo, this ain't it.
Yeah.
This isn't it. But I'm in there. After that season, 2020 happens.
Okay, COVID.
COVID happens, and so now I'm home, back in Maryland.
Mhm.
I'm with my dog, my mom, and it's a lot of moments of just sitting still. Within me sitting still and looking at my life, I realized throughout basketball, it was my lowest moment, but I was tired of being a victim of that. I was just trying to figure out how to make my lowest moment my greatest. That's when I created Life After. That's when I was like, I can do this filmmaking thing. I know how to create stories, and that
And
was
in life after,
yeah.
one of the things you do really well and highlight is the effects on your mental health,
Mhm.
being a student athlete.
Yeah,
Afterwards, you brought people to the table who could speak to that time period,
yeah,
which was so thoughtful. When I watch your work, I get to know you. What compelled you to focus on some of the areas that you decided to focus on? I think about that as I'm sitting here thinking about the lawsuit against the NCAA,
mhm,
Johnson versus the NCAA, hoping to get college athletes assigned as employees,
yeah,
treated as employees.
Yeah.
Not that employees in the United States get treated that great, but there's benefits. You can get insurance that would offer you more robust mental health. I don't know that the mental health facilities available to the students is the best of the best,
Yeah.
or that that's the priority. Something about when you had this hard conversation that I hadn't heard it before. As a mother, I'm just like, if my kid's playing D1, I'm excited. The recruiting process leads me to believe they're in good hands
Mm.
and they're looked after. A couple of things. I'd like to know how your mom felt watching it, and I'm assuming she watched it. Obviously, what compelled you to go in that direction?
Yeah. So mother watching this happen, watching which part happen?
Did she watch Life After series, the student
Oh,
edition?
yeah.
And I'm wondering how she felt. But first, what compelled you to go in that direction?
Mm. What compelled me was this was always something in the back of my mind that I wanted to do, tell student athlete stories.
Hmm.
Then when 2020 happened, a lot of people were doing it, but the way they were doing it, I was like, I feel like I can do something a little different. I personally knew these three people. We all went to the same school and we was in the same era of school. Each person, they just had different stories. This was also a healing process for me because it just reminded me I wasn't the only one that was like suffering. I had somebody suffering a little bit more than me. And even with Shakina's story of having a teammate actually, yeah, was yeah, because even some players who came after me from at VCU, they had similar experiences
Yeah.
of just, not wanting to be there anymore. So I'm like, all right, so what's up with the program, of the women's
Yeah.
basketball
Yeah.
program at VCU? That's what compelled me to do it. My mother watching me do it. My mother, she doesn't say a lot. She'll just sit,
Hmm.
you know, but I can tell she was happy for me. Like she was watching it on the her TV and stuff like that, and just supporting me throughout it all, even financially. Because at that time, I'm not making no money. Person who
Yeah.
started, I wanted to figure out how to get him compensated, and so even financially, my mother.
Really?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So shout out to my mother because
Yes.
I had no money, but she believed in it and helped me out. So
So even thinking about, you mentioned the episode with
Shakina,
Shakina. I know when I was watching it, you pan to that player, and we should say that player who ultimately committed suicide.
yeah.
But a lot of the mental health struggles starting as a college athlete. And this being a person that everybody loved, looked like she was happy, lively. Yes, the team saw signs, but these are kids coming into college, the weight of mental health and even knowing how to manage it. I think about it because when you panted, her number was 33. I think how many times, and you also introduced me to Juju Watkins, but we'll get to that. And I say that because I was watching one of her games and I was thinking about also this number 33. Just thinking how many times you watch a game and you watch a player, a collegiate player, and you see their number, but you don't know what's behind that.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what makes it even more special. One, for me to be sitting here talking to you, but also how you highlighted some of these areas that a person looking at it on the outside really doesn't have the full advantage of knowing what that person's going through or what's happening.
Yeah, and that's just how it is. It's just what it's gonna be like. As a spectator, you're just not gonna care about, every single player, you know what I'm saying? But you do expect the coaching staff to care about that player. But yeah, like that's why even when I was coaching, I had to tell the head coach, let's stop with this narrative of that we're family. Everybody should stop with that because that's just a tagline that every recruiter uses and every program uses.
Hmm.
Family. You wouldn't treat your daughter like that, you know? So it even made him realize some things like, yeah, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, I guess we should just keep this about business. Exactly. Then these young ladies wouldn't feel like now you're a father figure or try to even look up a father figure or a mother figure, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is business. And so narrative of family is needs to be out the window.
Just to pull in some of the things here, you are bringing in business administration too when you're telling them, let's keep it about business.
Yeah.
Let's not market this as what it's not. So in a roundabout way, the things that you set out to do,
Mhm.
combined with your lived experience, is shaping how you're moving forward. What I'm feeling and sensing is that things are coming together. Alignment is gradually happening.
It's gradually happening. It's gradually happening. And now
So
pandemic
2020, you're home. Yeah. So to take us
pandemic,
back.
life after happens. Now, I'm getting a little buzz from life after. I'm able to speak on some things, but still with life after, I'm like, I'm done with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were asking, let's do this, but I'm like, nah. I feel like that was truly a piece that was just really about healing those participants and for me. And so after that, I left that alone.
So let me just clarify. They wanted you to pick up with what you were focusing on for the purpose of life after,
Yeah.
which you're pulling together this part of your life to
Mhm.
be able to move forward. They're thinking this is a place where you could do more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Creating life after as a platform for more people to come. Now, I didn't know, but it really was just art for me. With art, you make it, and sometimes you move on for it. It doesn't need to be a series, like,
Okay. Gotcha.
So that's what that was for me. So 2020 happens, life after happens, cool. Now I'm able to build a portfolio from life after because now I have some work that I've done. So I'm back in California now. We tried to have a season, but COVID just wouldn't allow us. So still on campus living. I'm like, yo, if I want to stay in California, I got to figure something out. I saw a post. This gym was needing people to just help out at the front desk, and do some clockwork. So I'm looking at their Instagram. So I'm like, okay. So I go in there and we're talking about the job, but then I'm like, yo, I think y'all need some help with the social media side, with videos and stuff like that. They were like, actually, yeah. And so from there, they created a position for me to be their marketing director, which
So out of your pitch, you got a marketing director role.
yeah, yeah. So now, I already have experience as a marketing director. So I'm back in that space. But now, which I was upset about, I'm like, I'm back with basketball. So from there, it was just doing a lot of videography work, a lot of highlight videos of basketball, pictures, basketball, just promoting the gym and the leagues we had. From here, I'm meeting people, meeting other hoopers. I'm building my portfolio. I'm also reaching out to people because I'm like, yo, your work fire. I want to work with you. I reach out to this director named Melanie, who was working on this docu-series about women's basketball in the DMV. She saw my work of life after, and she also lived in LA. I was like, yo, if you ever need anything, please let me know. She was like, all right, like, can you come to Vegas, have an interview with a player from the Mystics? I'll say less. So I go over there. And that was the start of our relationship. From there, she was bringing me along with her, and that's how I got on the Juju Watkins project, was from Melanie, because she was the director.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
And that's under what production company?
uninterrupted. It's
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's how I got put on with them, and yeah, just from life after, just helped me out in a lot of ways. Now I'm back in the basketball realm, but it's okay. It's okay. That's how I got put on with this Juju Watkins project.
When you were doing the Juju Watkins project, were you still marketing director at the gym?
Yes, I
Okay.
was. And now I'm doing a little bit other documentaries and stuff like that, but I'm still working for this gym. Now I'm, getting a little bit more, and I'm also going places for free too, just to build my portfolio. But some of this stuff is paid work. So I remember one week, I'm like, yo, I might have to quit. And so I come in there, the owner of the gym comes in and was like, hey, I just sold the business. Today's the last day. I'm like, all right. I'm telling my girlfriend at the time, I said, I need to quit. If I'm going to pursue
Yeah.
the filmmaking thing, I need to quit. Then he hits me with that. Luckily, because of that, I get severance now. So instead of me quitting, and
You got a package. You
now
got
I
funds.
got something to rely on, and it was just alignment. I don't know who's up there. My great grandmama, my granddaddy,
Ancestors.
and from there, that's how I was able to just do what I'm doing now, and now I'm a freelancer without even being intentional. You know what I'm saying? But every year since 2022, I've been able to survive. So yeah, blessings for sure.
Going back to earlier, you said you were being toxic.
Yes, 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 yes.
What's happening now? Because you said a couple of times you have a girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
So is the personal life, is that shifting as well
Thanks for
to
bringing back
mm,
to this. After 2018, that's when I just changed the type of lifestyle that I was living. That's when life started shifting as well for me.
how did you change the lifestyle? Like what specific changes did you make, or what was there one particular thing that you did that kind of shifted you from this to that?
I had a a bad experience mentally, um, and just couldn't get out of bed, all this stuff. And I got a puppy
That'll do it.
in late December. It's just weird. He unconsciously he made me stop worrying about material things, people, and I found joy in him, and he just showed me what real love was. Cause it doesn't matter what he does, like tearing up my stuff, I still just loved him. And even with me, I could yell at him and then he automatically is cuddled up with me.
Mhm.
From there I just stopped looking for joy in things because in females because basketball wasn't fulfilling me. I just completely stopped and my focus was on him and figuring out my life. And from that, just naturally a transformation started happening and just pulling me in towards a direction of winning finally. Winning with life after, winning with filmmaking. I'm still failing at some things, but
Yeah.
now the failures are more of lessons of how to make my craft better instead of
Mhm.
lessons of how to like treat people and like females and stuff like that. Like my life wasn't fiery anymore. I didn't have to worry about
Yeah.
with this lie because I told her one, I told her, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have to worry. My life was now, it was blue. Like it was red, it was super fiery and nothing was happening. But now my life was becoming blue. In 2020, I also met my girlfriend at the time, who also made my life blue. I had to credit her because at the pandemic, she moved to California with me, and I was able to travel. And we had my dog, and I was able to travel because of her, because she's now able to watch the dog, like have the house right. So like, yeah, she was a blessing. She was a blessing.
What's your dog's name?
Duncan,
Duncan. So
yes,
you have Duncan, and you said you had your own mental health challenges
yeah.
that you were dealing with, and Duncan came in, you and your mom went and got Duncan, that partly helped. Was there any other support you seeked or that was helpful for you during that time? I say that for any listeners who might be having mental health challenges. What's the extra steps? For sure, if you get a pet, when you're depressed and you get the attention off of you and onto this pet, and if he's wrecking everything, your time is going to be occupied.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I totally skipped over that. I was kind of forced to go to these mental health groups, and it was all people that was a little bit older than me.
Mhm.
And I remember this one guy. He turns around. It's white guy, like a straight gangster dude, and he turns around. He looks at me. He's like, "Yeah, this is your lowest moment right now. Um, but there's nowhere else to go but up from here." That's all he ever said to me.
Random white guy.
Random white guy, random white.
God bless him.
God bless him, man. So I'm in these groups and all of them are talking about uh like one guy, his son committed suicide. He's in this group and he talks every day about his dog. He wakes up, him and his dog go for a walk, they go outside, they go play. This other lady was struggling with her stuff and she has multiple pets. Um, so I just, especially from those two people,
Yeah.
just got a sense something's up with these animals. Yeah, so I'm noticing from these two people, animals. So I was telling my mom like, hey, I think I want a dog. She's like, okay. Like as you see, my mom is like, all right, look at me crazy, but okay. And we were at my group session, and we were supposed to go to this place called Puppy Palooza. It was 2 hours away. By that time, I'm like, nah, let's not do this. All the dogs gonna be gone. She's like, okay, let's just go to the shelter of where the dogs were coming from, which were 5 minutes from from my house. I go in there and I see this dog. I see this puppy. From there, he just changed my life. I didn't understand why people pay $10,000 for a surgery for an animal, but I would easily pay that money for my boy.
It sounds like when the stranger, random white guy, said to you, "You're at bottom," you took him at his word.
I'm very much so. I'm a person who just really follows the signs because they just come to a lot of things in my life. It's weird with some things that happen. Sometimes it doesn't even feel real. For him to come and say that and be that the only thing he said to me was a little weird and made me be like, oh, okay, somebody's talking to you and you should listen. And that's why I'm like, yo, the ancestors, somebody, you know.
Was there relief in hearing that you're at bottom right now?
Man, that's
Yeah.
why with life after. That's why I actually got that saying of turning my lowest moment to my greatest was from him. I don't know his name, nothing, but I remember him. Um, I'll take that with me everywhere.
So on the professional level, things are coming into alignment. You're honoring this trek on business, but you're also honoring what your mom originally saw you becoming an artist.
Yeah,
And then on the personal side, things are coming into alignment as well.
yeah. I'm finally becoming me. I'm not this toxic person talking to multiple females, lying and just trying to fulfill something because I'm feeling like I'm missing something, you know, trying to fill it with them. I'm accepting myself as an artist. I'm accepting the fact that it's okay that I'm where I am right now, you know. Like, yeah, I could have started earlier if I left this basketball stuff alone. You know, it's stuff like that I'm like dealing with. And a lot of insecurities because I'm like, yo, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I've never done this run and gun doc stuff, but hey, like, I'm here. I'm driving to LA. Oakland is about 5 hours away. A lot of times, some of these call times would be at 8 a.m. I'm getting on the road at 2 a.m. and driving down there, being on set 10, 12 hours and driving back, you know, and that was a weekly thing, but it was literally worth it. Like, so worth it. And it's still worth it. You know, I still do it here and there, but it's been worth it.
So what's going on now?
What's going on now? Now we're in the second season of On the Rise. Now I'm the producer and DP for it, which
Wow.
it's
Congrats.
yeah, it's been a blessing. Still trying to get better at my craft for sure. I'm in Salt Lake right now. Worked with this volleyball league called League One. It's their inaugural season. I was with them from the beginning. Also in 2022, started with them. Here in 2025, still with them. We have some projects coming up, you know, that's going to be on ESPN Plus. So that's a blessing. Then it's getting back to doing a lot of my personal work. Going to Guyana over this summer.
Really? Okay.
I have a personal doc that my aunt's from Guyana. I have an aunt whose family friend, her daughter is this big squash player
Wow. Yeah.
in Guyana. She's creating a lot of buzz over there for the sport. She's winning championships and it's a big tournament coming up this summer. So trying to continue doing women's sports, but not just basketball. My aunt mentioned squash. I don't know what squash is, but I feel like this is it's a personal project, you know, it's another path,
Yeah.
just like how life after was. So it's time to get back to that and showing its different levels to my story, telling capability. So I'm excited about that project, you know, but I'm also excited about On the Rise season 2. It's totally different now since now it's planned out. We know it's going to be back on a Peacock, approaching that differently. My dog is doing good.
Tongue is sound good.
Doing good. I'm truly blessed. You know, I still
Yes.
deal with a lot of overthinking, like what am I doing? Am I good enough? Stuff like that. That's a constant.
That imposter syndrome, as you know, I'm working on launching this podcast,
Yeah,
which I appreciate you wanting to be a part of it,
yeah.
but I get it. There's days where it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's crazy. We are really it's cliche, but we truly are our biggest enemies. I constantly tell myself, don't be an enemy to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just love yourself. People whose work might not be as good as mine, they're consistent posting and loving their work. They totally inspire me. But then I see people who are making work that's better than mine, who's who have had more opportunities than them. We all running our own race in a way.
I'm excited for you, and I'm looking forward to second season of On the Rise. You put me on to Juju Watkins. I wasn't
And
paying attention to any of these things.
yeah,
I do expect more to come from you and more success, more blessings. I'm just happy you gave me opportunity to be a part of it by sharing part of your story
thanks.
on self-centered living.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be a part of it.
I have to check in again
Yes, for
and come back.
sure. Thanks, Trish.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Self Centered Living. If you have enjoyed it and it has been helpful in any way, I would love to hear from you. Please email me at info@self-centeredliving.com. Our music is Tide Turns by Ketsu. Our show notes include our participants' information. I'll meet you back here for next week's episode. Take care until then.